Well, for the second time in 24 hours, the FDNY battles a deadly fire in the boroughs. PIX11's Diana Rocco reports live from Regal Park in Queens. Hi there, Diana.
Hi, Katie. Firefighters were called here just before midnight last night. They rescued a 51-year-old woman from the 5th floor of this building. You can see the apartment remains boarded tonight. She later died at the hospital, and now firefighters are trying to figure out how all of this started. Smoke can be seen pouring from an apartment on the 5th floor of this Regal Park high-rise, with a woman still inside just before midnight Saturday at 8730 62nd Avenue.
Yeah, they said it was a boom, and then we waited. Then maybe I was out here for maybe about 20 minutes, and we saw smoke coming out the window.
The fire alarms were going off inside the building while people on the upper floors tried to figure out where the smoke was coming from.
I just woke up to like a bunch of people screaming and telling us to like stay in our homes and stuff. That's it.
Minutes later, emergency workers emerged with a 51-year-old woman. The woman, who has been identified as Anna Latek, later died at Elmhurst Hospital from smoke inhalation. The fire was contained to apartment 5A. Fire investigators stayed on the scene into the afternoon on Sunday.
For me, because my son was in the house, but it didn't seem like a bad fire. Like, I didn't see any flames or nothing. It's unfortunate somebody lost their life.
This is the second fatal fire in the city within 24 hours. Saturday morning, a prominent Midtown attorney and his wife were killed when a fire started in their multi-million-dollar apartment in the exclusive River House Co-op. Flames could be seen from FDR Drive. 89-year-old John Merrow was pronounced dead at the hospital, and his 85-year-old wife, Mary, was found dead inside their 9th floor apartment. Both of these fires remain under investigation tonight. 3 other people were injured out here last night. They were taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. We're live in Regal Park, Queens. I'm Diana Rocco, PIX11 News.
Thank you.
To a developing story, a fast-moving fire at a Queens apartment building overnight leaves 1 person dead, several others hurt. CBS 2's Andrea Klein-Thomas joins us live from the scene in Regal Park with more on this story. Andrea?
Well, now with the daylight, you can see the damage. Take a look. You see the windows are blown out, and that apartment on the 5th floor where the fire broke out just before midnight. Now, the victim has been identified as 51-year-old Anna Latek. Authorities say she died from smoke inhalation. The heavy smoke spread, injuring 3 others who were also taken to the hospital with smoke inhalation. But at this hour, they're in stable condition. A crowd gathered outside as residents evacuated, and first responders helped the victims.
When I walked up, I saw smoke coming from the 5th floor. Heavy, thick smoke. The firefighters were breaking windows to vent out the smoke. And, yeah, people were in their windows.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Reporting live from the Regal Park section of Queens, Andrea Klein-Thomas, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Andrea, thank you.
Good morning, Rob. Investigators have been here throughout the night, and a fire marshal this morning looking for a cause of this deadly fire. It happened in this high-rise building behind me on the 5th floor. We have video from the scene that we want to roll right now. Firefighters were called here about 11:40 last night. This is at 62nd Avenue. They made their way inside to that apartment. They were met with very heavy smoke conditions. They did get that fire under control, and they found a body inside, a 51-year-old woman. That woman now identified as Anna Latek. Now, fire crews pulled her out. She had severe smoke inhalation. She was taken to Elmhurst Hospital, and that's where she was pronounced dead. Now, we did speak with witnesses as there was a lot of commotion. The neighbors were woken up. Take a listen to someone we spoke with.
There was heavy smoke coming out of 2 sides of the building on the 5th floor from the fire apartment. From what I saw, no, they did not evacuate the building. There were people in their windows above the fire floor and next to the fire apartment.
We've also learned that 3 other people were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. It's unclear if all the victims lived in the same apartment. Again, fire investigators on the scene this morning. We're live in Regal Park, Queens this morning. I'm Naveen Dhaliwal, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
We have a sad story out of Queens this morning. Unfortunately, not the first of its kind. We have told you about this weekend. We're talking about fatal fires. And in this case, a woman has been killed by a fire in her apartment.
We've seen so many already this season. Today, New York's Ken Buffa is at the scene. He's in Ozone Park with more for us. Ken?
That's right. One woman is dead and 3 others injured after a fire broke out here in this apartment building behind me. We have some footage to show you of the scene right here. Take a look for yourself. Now, firefighters say they got the call last night, just before midnight here at this apartment building at 8730 62nd Avenue. Authorities say the fire began in a 5th-floor apartment where firefighters say they found 51-year-old Anna Latique. First responders took Latique to Elmhurst Hospital where she was treated for smoke inhalation, but then later died. Now, authorities say 3 other people were injured, also being treated for smoke inhalation as well.
When I walked up, I saw smoke coming from the 5th floor. Heavy, thick smoke. The firefighters were breaking windows to vent out the smoke. And yeah, people were in their windows.
Now, again, firefighters have left here, but again, 1 person is dead, 3 others injured after a fire in his apartment building. We're in Rego Park. Ken Buffa for Today in New York.
Ken, thank you.
1 woman was killed, several others were hurt after a fire burned through a Queens apartment building overnight, and now the FDNY is investigating exactly how that fire began. New York 1's Van 2 is in Rego Park now with the very latest on this fatal fire. Van.
Well, Vivian, this is the 2nd deadly fire in as many days in the city, and you can see behind me the fire department is back here on scene. It is a busy season for them. The FDNY says more than 30% of home fires happen in the months between December and February. So they're back here to hand out notices and fire safety education tips to neighbors because this will help prevent the next tragedy. Family photos caught in bushes wave with each gust of the chilly Sunday morning air. It's some of what's left of the life of 51-year-old Anna Latique, who died after a Saturday night blaze in her 5th-floor condo at the Austin Towers in Rego Park.
This morning, the news is so heartbreaking.
Fire officials say Latique died from smoke inhalation at Elmhurst Hospital. 3 others were taken to New York Presbyterian Queens and are in stable condition. Steve Meditz hopes he will find his sister there. His family wasn't able to get in contact with her Sunday morning. She also lives on the 5th floor.
Everything is kind of black. No lights are working. Had to use a flashlight to go back there, and all the apartments in that back section look to be vacated.
Neighbors described a chaotic scene overnight in below freezing temperatures as firefighters and EMTs worked to evacuate residents.
We did see somebody come out on a stretcher, but I didn't stay around too long because it was cold and the fire had already been put out, but the response by the FDNY was really amazing to see.
The cause of the fire is under investigation. Considering nearly 30% of city fires happen during the cold winter months, the FDNY Foundation issues winter fire safety tips each year. Make sure smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are operating. Don't leave candles unattended, and do not use the stove or oven as a source for heat. Electric heaters are a leading cause for winter fires, according to the FDNY. Keep electric heaters at least 3 feet away from flammable materials. Don't use them with extension cords. Turn them off when you leave or go to bed. Fire officials say these precautions can prevent the next tragedy. Now, Vivian, there are plenty more fire safety tips, and they can all be found online in one spot, and that website address is fdnysmart.org. Reporting in Rego Park, Van 2, New York 1.
Okay, thank you, Van.